Hi Flosstube, I'm Morgan, Honeybee Stitcher. Thank you for stopping by. I think this is Flosstube number 13, if I'm correct. If you're new, welcome. Hi, like I said, I'm Morgan. I'm a cross stitcher from Melbourne, Australia, and a very, very, very beginner sewer. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me again. I really do appreciate it. This episode, I pretty much have got one small start and finish, and I have, I guess, three additional new starts that are now WIPs. So then that falls into my May plans, as I'm going to be doing WIPMaynia or WIP Mayhem, however or whatever term you use. The way I am doing it is I've got 7 WIPs and I'll be stitching 1 per day, and then doing that each week. So by the end of May I should have touched them all at least 4 times. I have a stitch along with the Dark Queen of the Sea. That part has just been released into my inbox today. So that one is a little bit more stitching than it has been in the past, which Aaron and Cassandra did warn us all about. So if I do finish any of these, I don't know if I will, that if I do finish any of these, then my time is going to focus on the Dark Queen. Otherwise, if not, and it gets to the 29th, for the last 3 days of May, I'm just going to focus on that one just so that I don't fall behind, because the next part will obviously then be out. And if for some miracle I happen to be caught up on that as well, then Hello Sunshine from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, I think the stitch along starts on the 28th, which for me in Australia will be revealed on the 29th usually as well. So I've got some things that I can kick on with for the rest of May, those last 3 days. I don't have overly much haul. I have I say overly much, I have a few fabrics, and I also managed to dye my own fabric, which was an absolute roller coaster, and I'm surprised that Tim still wants to be in the same house with me. A few tantrums and a few moments when I was trying to dye that fabric really got me down, but we got there in the end. So yeah, I reckon maybe let's just get into it. So the very first thing that I will show you is that I have a start and finish, not a fully finish or an FFO. I've stitched the Always Arrow Celebration Small from Hello from Liz Matthews. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I've also used Wine from M&M's, Yamir's hand-dyed silk. I've used that one on this, and this is on a 36 count Zweigart linen, which is dyed in Silver and Moon by number 12 Stitch Co. Nicola on Etsy. She's in Brisbane. So there we go. I don't think where I am is going to really showcase maybe you can see it there. I am building a photo wall. I think I speak about this in every video. I'm building a photo wall, and I have 1 or 2 cross stitch pieces already to go on it. Another one of Liz Matthews being the Loved by You typography piece that she did. I had that at my wedding. That's going on the wall. So I think I'll use a few more of Liz's celebration smalls for that wall as well. But yeah, that one's to go on there. I just haven't finished it. I haven't had the chance to get to the shops and get the stuff that I need to do so. Also, I just realized how fitting. I'm wearing a t-shirt that says honey. So that's my start and finish. Then I have one of my new starts being the one that I've also dyed the fabric for. So I am doing Hello from Liz Matthews Quaker Pumpkins, hosting a stitch along with Evelyn at Evelyn Across the Pond. I'll put the hashtag down below, but it is Hello Quaker SAL for stitch along. Liz currently has 2 Quakers that are out that are more seasonal. So there's Quaker Pumpkins and there's Quaker Snowflakes. Quaker Snowflakes has 2 colorway options. I think that one says Season's Tidings. This one here says All Hallows Eve. I think from memory, Liz has rumoured that she will be doing more seasons of these Quakers. So we kind of made the hashtag a little bit universal so that it can kind of kick on to the rest of them. I do want to do Quaker snowflakes as well, but not sure when I'll get to that one, but we'll keep going with the hashtag. So I wanted to get, no, I already had it in my stash. I had a piece of material from Nicola at Handmade at number 12 in Toasted Mellow, but I wanted to get it big enough in a 40 count linen to fit the piece, and the piece is 17 inches long, not including any border or anything. She had found one piece and I did purchase it, but unfortunately there was something wrong with part of it, so I couldn't get the full length of that piece of material. So she sent me a smaller bit, which actually ended up being this, which is 17 inches wide on 40 count, so it just didn't fit the material. And I didn't really know what to do because I couldn't find anything else that really worked, and she said that she doesn't have any other 40 count linen at the moment. I kind of went into a bit of a panic because I really wanted to start this, and I wanted to start it for a little while. So I ordered a piece of 40 count Newcastle linen from JK's Cross Stitch Supplies, who is Jeanette out of Sydney. She runs a business that used to be only on Facebook and is now moved to a website. And then I purchased Rit Dye, and I tried to match it up to the colour palette that was on the website. I'll try and pop in a photo or two if I save them of what happened, but I thought I got the colour right. I had a test piece of fabric that I was just kind of dunking in. I was following the Rit Dye instructions to pop in a piece of paper towel. With everything else, I followed Kathleen at Situation Normal's tutorial. Apart from the fact that I was mixing in fabric, I was still pretty much doing the same thing that she was doing, and I found it just really helpful to watch. And I pulled it out and I went, that's pretty dark, but it's the right sort of colour. I'll put it in the dryer and we'll see what happens. And oh my goodness, did it not change colour except possibly get darker. I don't know what happened, but it ended up so dark. And then I went into a bit of panic mode, bleached it, and then it went yellow because two of the bases, the two colours that I used was fuchsia and golden yellow, I think. And it was supposed to get me a creamy peach. But yeah, when I bleached it, it went yellow. And so then I went into a panic and I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll put it in the dryer. I'll see how light it is. And it was literally like lemon. And so then I started panicking again, and I had to go out. So I was starting to stress, and Tim was trying to help. And I think maybe the bleach fumes got to my head. I'm not sure. So I tried it again. I put it in basically just put it in pure bleach and hoped that the bleach would help. And it didn't really change the yellow again. So I got a little bit tanty and started crying, and Tim was researching how to lighten fabric. So I went and put it on the line, and then I just went, whatever, I'm going out, I've got to go. And while I was out, he sent me a photo and he said, your fabric's lightened, and it had this very, very, very pale lemon hue to it, but it was pretty much almost all gone. And I could have cried again, but I was driving at the relief that I had that it had actually lifted. So then I went round 2, 3, if you include the bleach, and I ended up with, it's not going to show properly, is it? I ended up with this peachy kind of pinky yellow. I think it's a bit more on the pinkier side, especially when you bundle it up. There you go. That kind of shows a bit more of the pinky. But it's this gorgeous peachy kind of colour, and I'm so relieved that I got there. I have no idea how I did it, no idea how I'll ever do it again, and I never want to dye fabric again in my life. But anyway, whole purpose of this was that I have now got a piece of fabric, don't mind the loose thread, for Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. This is a 40 count Newcastle linen. So I made a start on Quaker pumpkins. Let me just make it easier to show. Don't mind the loose thread. So here is my start, the center motif of the center pumpkin, using all the called for Weeks Dye Works floss. And yeah, this is on an E40 count Newcastle linen. I think that's kind of more the fabric color. So yeah, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna try and pop in maybe one piece of floss a day. No, a day. I did that last night. But I think like one strand of floss every couple of days. On weekends, I think I can do a little bit more while still juggling with my my whips that I'm working on. Now, because today is the 2nd of May, I did call a piece yesterday for the 1st of May for my whips. I managed to call Smooth Seas by Emma Congdon of Stitch Rovia from one of her books. So I did work on that one last night. So there is a little bit of progress, but what I'll do is I might show you, because I did take photos, I might pop a photo of each of the whips that I'm going to be working on for the next month. And then I'll show you what I did for Smooth Sea. And yeah, talk about the rest of it. So this is where I was originally with Smooth Sea before I stitched on it yesterday. And this is where I am now. Sorry, I don't have anything to put behind this. So I just did the border underneath C, and then the letters, the NEVE, and then part of the R. My hope will be that once because the letters didn't really take very long at all. The rest of it just is an R for never and then made R. So I should be able to nut that out. I want to finish this whole section. So there's two little decals, or I think it's like balls or part of the anchor on the sides of the banner on both sides, and then the rest of it is just infill. So I'm not setting any goals for my my whips for the end of the month. I just want to stitch on them as much as I can, but I would love to see that bit and then maybe some more of the anchor done, because that's just going to all be infill and I can do that really easily while watching TV. So I'm wondering, I think I do want to do it all. I don't want to move on and not fill that in, because I know how boring that can sometimes be, even though it's not going to be too bad. But yeah, that would be my goal if I was to set one. So who knows, we'll see. There is a hashtag Smooth Sea SAL. Megan from Georgia Girl Stitching and Carolina from Crafts Makeup Food were also stitching this. Megan, I don't think, has finished it, whereas Carolina has. And she did a beautiful change. So it says, a smooth sea never made a skillful sailor. And I think on skillful, which is this cursive text down here, Carolina did a variegated rainbow floss, which looked really cool. I am stitching this one for my father-in-law. I don't know when I'll give it to him, possibly Father's Day or his birthday or Christmas or something, I'm not sure. So there's no rush on me getting this one done. They're all the end of the year anyway, so yeah. And it's a 32 count Semco linen, which Semco is just, I think, Spotlight's home brand. Spotlight is our haberdashery store. It's kind of, I think, an equivalent of Hobby Lobby or Hobbycraft. You can get sewing, linen, it's got party goods, it's got material, like you can buy sewing machines, all accessories, knitting, yarn, all of that. It's nowhere near as good as what the US have, but it does the job for some last minute things that you need. Okay, whew. It's very warm. Moving on, I'll showcase, so in my whips there are two that I've started since my last video. So I might show you both of those and then I'll show you the rest of them. Just take that off. So I picked a small for this just because I didn't want, I've got a couple of bigger projects. I've got a full coverage, I've got the stitch alongs. I kind of wanted to knock a smaller one out, potentially knock a smaller one out, something that I could stitch in a couple of days. So I went with Autumn Lane Stitchery's Santa Claus ornament. I purchased Mrs. Claus and I did Mrs. Claus when Cassandra stitched it, and when it was released, I think it was just after Christmas that I was doing it. I didn't get it fully finished. I wasn't planning on it. I want to fully finish them all together. But at the time of purchasing Mrs. Claus, I purchased the Just Cross Stitch magazines that had both Santa and Frosty the Snowman, and then never got around to it. And now Aaron and Cassandra have released it, but that's okay. So I'm stitching this from the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I think it's the Christmas Ornament edition from 2020. I've just started on it. I don't have all the colors for him, so just doing what I have. This is on another one of Nicola's fabric from number 12 Stitch Co. I think this one is Mulberries and Cream. Mrs. Claus is also on the same fabric, and I do have an entire extra half of material for another 2 ornaments. Aaron, when they were releasing these, Aaron said something about doing like an Ornament Santa and Friends series. So far it's just the 3, Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus and Frosty, but there's been a couple of other ornaments released for different seasons. So there was gnomes for Valentine's Day, Leprechaun, Mr. Finnegan or something. There's been a bunny for Easter, so I'm not sure when the rest of these, if there are any more of these that are coming out, whether they'll be out by Christmas, but yeah, we'll see. I'll do all of these ones. I won't do any of the other seasons. I don't decorate for anything other than Christmas. So yeah, anyway, that's my start on Mr. Claus, or Santa Claus, sorry. And then the other start, I've done something really weird on this one. I'm using one piece of material, and instead of cutting it, because I can't bring myself to do so, I've just folded it in half and done the pattern on the other end. So I'll show you both of these, but I did a giveaway last video for hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you to everyone that has subscribed. I have drawn the winner. I have written on their comment. I will advise who that is at the end of the video. But the giveaway was for a chart from Heartstring Sampler. I pop a photo up of it. So I purchased Coffee Drinker's Confession, and then I saw Beth from the Desert Stitcher stitching this as well. So that was a bit more of a kick in the butt to actually get the floss and start. So I have done a giveaway for this one, but I'm also stitching it. So this is my start on it. I'm using all the Cordful floss. This is one that has Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dyeworks. I can't think of what else. I think there's 3 or 4 different brands of thread. But this is my start. So this is on a 40 count linen. This is actually the linen that I'm using for the Gilmore Girls sampler. So I just can't bring myself to cut it. Anyway, this is from Forbidden Fibre Co. It's dyed by Leanne. I was going to say Bewitched, but that's not correct. Frozen. I think it's Frozen. And I picked this one because it does have a little bit of blue and it's got a little bit of brown to it. Given that the Gilmore Girls one bases around snow and coffee, it's got those coffee colors in the thread, material. So I figured that doing a coffee themed piece on it would really suit. So yeah, so that's my start. I've only been able to order half the colors. but I will make do with what I have. And yeah, I'm so nervous about counting because I don't have all the colors, so I'm just taking that one really slow. Yeah. Then moving on, here's my progress on Gilmore Girls. So this is The Reigning Loreleis by Forbidden Fibre Co. I purchased this as a mystery kit that came with the thread, the material, the chart, a needle minder from Twin Mummy Creations, and a project bag. I have finished all of the outline and all of the snow and border motifs. Now it's just the 6 pieces, 6? Count, Morgan, count. The 5 pieces inside the hexagons and the back stitch. So this one here is a coffee cup. There's a poodle for Oi with the Poodles already. I smell snow in Omniparatus with an umbrella and dragonfly in. So I should be able to knock each one of those out. I'm hoping every time I pick it up, but we'll see. Who knows? I'll leave the back stitching right till the very end, but we'll see. So that is The Reigning Loreleis. And then I feel like I'm going 100 miles a minute, so I'm just going to catch my breath. Moving on, I have still not done anything about this, but this is, about this is what I mean. I haven't done anything on. This is my progress on Hello Petal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This is a full chart release. It's not a stitch along, but we are doing a hashtag Hello Petal SAL. Myself, Mary Ashcraft, Evelyn at Evelyn Across the Pond, Sian at Craftivating Creations. I think even Beth from Stitch with Beth is starting this one, as well as doing, I think, every other Hello Tree that's been released, either stitching it herself or stitching it as a SAL. So yeah, jump on board if you're using it. Love to see the hashtag. But this is my progress. So with the other Caterpillar Cross Stitch trees, the season ones, Hello Pumpkin, I left as it was. Hello Deer, I did as the stitch along, but I did make some changes to the winter elements. The winter and Christmas elements that were in there, I changed the Christmas side of things. And I just made it all winter because every time I think I explain this, we celebrate Christmas in summer. So this one here has a number of Easter themed Easter themed motifs, and so I'm changing them just to be spring. First change I made was that this egg basket actually has more Easter egg looking eggs in it. I've just used some of the called for colours and just turned them into 3 eggs that are a bit more similar to egg colours, because I think they range from like yellows through to peaches, pinks and nudes and stuff. So I just called on those from the from the thread. Then there's a couple of Easter eggs throughout the rest of the pattern that I'll substitute, but I'm going to wait until Hello Sunshine is revealed and motifs from there, just to be able to possibly substitute in from there, which is what I did with Hello Deer. I used Hello Pumpkin motifs and just put them in the Hello Deer colour palettes. So yeah, I'd love to have this one done by the time Hello Sunshine starts. I'm not pushing myself to do that. If I do happen to finish the Dark Queen and that's not done, I might focus on finishing that one off just so that I can catch up. I don't really want to be doing all 2 trees at once that are left going. I'd rather do one and then the other, because then once the stitch along is done, I am done with them. So we'll see. All right, moving on. WIP number 6, which I was just talking about, is the Dark Queen of the Sea stitch along by Autumn Lane Stitchery in association with Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics. So apart from 2 corner pieces in the top right and left corner, I am completely up to date. Part 8 is finished, was the trident and the coral around it. And now we're moving on to part 9, which has just been released and is the rest of her dress. And it has this big curl. It reminds me of Genie from Aladdin, like coming out of the bottle. It's kind of like it's got that mysterious look. I wonder if there will be a genie lamp or something down the bottom, or a crate or something that she's coming out of. I'm not sure. But it does look like a lot of stitching. It is quite, it's full coverage, that whole section. So when I was talking about my May plans, I was thinking that maybe I will reserve her for a Saturday or a Sunday when I'm going to be home all day to stitch. It is currently 3:30. I haven't put a single stitch in for the day, but I actually didn't decide on doing that. I'll stitch her when she's called, and she was called today. So I will pop her on the Q-snap. I've got dinner already on the stove, cooking away, so I don't need to do anything now. I can just sit down, put my feet up, and I can get a good amount of stitching in on her. So she will be a focus piece for me for the rest of the afternoon, evening. I have a date with the couch and my TV, so she'll fill in that time. I am stitching this on the called for Bewitched fabric from Under the Sea Fabrics. This is a 32 count Lugana. I'm doing her on, I think I've picked all of the Cassandra elements for the pick your own follow along thing. The only thing I've changed is the crown. That was from the Facebook group. Pauline had popped a post up of hers and then was kind enough to share the chart. But I kept the coral elements of her hair and everything too. I just haven't stitched those corner bits, as I'm just not sure if I want to keep them that colour or what I'm going to do. So I'm not ruling them out. I just might not stitch them until the end, until the full design is revealed. But yeah, I love her. I love her. And lastly, which not least, but lastly, my last WIP is Eye Candy by Carissa Rose, which is a kit from Gecko Rouge. I've just been sitting on it without realizing. Just in case you wanted to know, this is what this one looks like. So I'm stitching it on 18 count Aida. Total stitches is 226 by 297, and it'll be 12.56 by 16.5 inches. So I started this one in the middle, and then I realized that I'm pretty much stitching the entire focal point of the piece being an eye, and I don't really want to burn myself and stitch that and then get stuck with all the confetti and the white. So I did start to trickle down. From memory, hang on, let me fold this a bit better. I did start to fill in some of the white. I think that there's 2 or 3 lines below this. Otherwise, that is pretty much the bottom. So I do... Sorry, dog break. Nyla came for a visit. Hey, say hi. She's come in for a visit. No. Okay, this is how we're doing it. Anyway, so these two stitch lines pretty much almost go down to the bottom, I think minus 1 or 2 rows. I'm feeling very lost with this one, so I haven't picked it up very much. But I think my plan is that I'm going to actually stitch right to the bottom, and then I'm going to work over, and I'm actually going to go page by page. And just fill in as much of that as I can. Maybe I'll do row instead of page, I'm not sure. Not strict page, I don't need to worry about diagonals or, blocks or something like that. I think I will, because I stitch it with Pattern Keeper, I'll just basically focus on that corner and just really, I will do it. Not parking or anything, but I'll just do that whole section before moving on, because otherwise I'm going to get overwhelmed with all of the white and everything, and I think that's already what's happening. And I figured I'd go to the bottom rather than to the top, because the top's got all of the eyelash and part of the eye, and I kind of want to leave the more interesting, exciting bit till later on. So I think that's what I'm going to do. When I stitched my other full coverage from Gecko Rouge being B, I did stitch that one by wherever it was on the Q-snap. I would fill in absolutely every stitch that was there invisible. So I was going to see if I can do that with this, but I think it's just too overwhelming. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure. I do want to finish it, but I'm not as motivated to start it and pick it up. So hopefully this will help. Anyway, they're my 7 WIPs that I will be working on throughout the month of May. If I am lucky enough to get any of them finished, then order of importance will be Dark Queen of the Sea, and making sure that that one's up to date. If that is done, then I will move on to Hello Petal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, just to get that finished. And I think if that's then done, then I'll just work on whatever I feel like. Maybe I'll keep using the Tiny Decisions app. I doubt that I would get anything done, but we'll see. And then also just to try and put a couple of stitches in a week on Quaker Pumpkins. If you are joining in on the Hello Quaker Stitch Along, SAL, do tag me in it, or just use the hashtag, leave me a comment below, send me a message on Instagram, whatever is your preferred method of communication. I'd love to know, I'd love to follow along and see what you're doing, especially if you're doing Quaker Snowflakes, because I feel like more people are doing pumpkin, which I get because of the seasons that everyone's kind of going into. Maybe it's more realistic to have it done for Quaker Pumpkins for Halloween, but I'd love to see both, so let me know. Lastly is just a little bit of haul. So like I said, I did purchase some more fabric from Nicola from Handmade at number 12. Number 12 Stitch Co. on Etsy. She's Handmade at number 12 on Instagram. And that couldn't come in exactly how I'd ordered it, so she did send me a few other little big pieces. I was talking to her about my Quaker Turtle and how I really wanted to use a certain floss, and I love it, but I just don't think it's going to work. I think I'm fixating too much on the floss, and I'm not focusing on just making sure it all works. So I'm going to abandon the floss, and I'm going to use one of these materials. I did order one of them myself. Which one did I order? I think I ordered this one. I think I ordered this one. So I'll try my best to showcase, because they're all blues. So this is a 27 by 17 inch piece of 32 count linen. This is called Frost. Let me see if that helps. So I think that's a bit more accurate. It's a grey, but it's got blue to it. So it's like a deep grey and very faint blue, which I love. It was an option. I also don't actually have the chart. I'm just going off the stitch count to see how big it is. So there you go. That's a bit more. It's kind of like a whitewash denim, like a really, really pale denim, blue-grey kind of colour. There. That's more what it's like. So there's that one. And then she has sent, which I didn't even know existed, 38 count linen. I didn't know 38 count linen existed. So this is also, I think this is also Frost, and this is Frost. So they've actually dyed quite differently, but this is a 13 by 17 inch piece. That's also another really cool one, but that might go, this might be good for the Frosty ornament from Autumn Lane Stitchery. That's an idea. And then I got Cadet Blue. This is a 40 count 17 by 27. No, again, that just looks grey. Yeah, it just looks grey. We'll see what happens if I do this and hold it on its angle. So I guess it is a grey, but it's a navy. It's like that colour there. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, there we go. And then now this is the one that I think I'm actually going to use. I've been eyeballing this one in her shop, but I just hadn't got around to buying it yet. This is a 40 count 27 by 17 piece of sea glass. I'm not even going to bother unraveling it. It's like a foamy, no, sea glass is accurate. It's like a minty kind of blue. It's beautiful, and I do have like a sagey kind of blue from her. There we go. That's pretty much what it's like. So I'm actually thinking that might be like, I want to stitch the turtle on this. No, I'm not gonna be able to do it. And then I'm sure we've all seen Almond M&M's and Yamir. She recently revealed that she's releasing 12 more colours for May. Can you hear the neighbours? Huh? And I did know that she was doing that. She did tell me, because she actually had test sample and sent me 2 of those colours when I placed my order, because I showed the other one of Nicola's material, the kind of sagey green colour, and I was talking to her about that, and I said, you need to create one of them, and she did, which is this top one. But then she also sent me this really beautiful like muted blue. They're very slightly different to what she's actually released. She has also sent me a photo of, so I'm looking up the names. She has actually sent me a photo of what the colour, like the dye lot is. They are slightly different. But to give you an idea, I believe that this one is agave nectar, and this one here is seaweed. And they are slightly darker than what she has actually released. Let me find the message. Oh no. They're pretty much smack on. Or, nah, the glare's not going to help. The top ones are the ones that she dyed as the test, and then the bottom ones are the ones that are released. Anyway, so I'm going to buy a hank of both of those, because I don't have a design yet, but I do want to stitch on the sage green kind of colour with this seaweed thread, because they are different but very similar, and I love that look. But I was actually thinking of these 2. The agave nectar and the sea glass fabric. Otherwise, I have pulled the other 3. Let's see if I can hold them all. The other blues that I purchased from Mimia. The other option I think would be the tantalizing teal, but I really like this one. So, and given that it's a 40 count, I'm only doing it 1/2. So I should have enough with another one of these. I don't know if it's not coming up well. Either of these 2 I think is the avenue I'm going to go. So I'm really excited. So firstly, thank you very much, Yamir, but also thank you, Nicola. This isn't one that I had ordered in that order, but she sent it to me because of the other fabric, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you very much, because that's just done this whole light bulb thing for me, and now I'm just waiting for the chart to actually be received, because I do have enough, obviously, of this to start stitching it. Once it's received, I'll get it. But is that not just beautiful? Like, look at that shine. Anyway, the other thing that Nicola gave me, which actually gave me the idea to begin with, was she popped in a zipper pull of a turtle. It's not food, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nah, it's not exciting. She popped in a zipper pull, which is of a turtle. and I saw that color on the turtle and I went, that's that. And I don't have a floss that matches that color, but I have a fabric that matches that color. So yeah, that'll be a June start, I'm hoping. Hopefully. Hopefully. I used to only be a monogamous stitcher, and now I'm talking about 8 whips plus another one. With my Mirabilia that not Mirabilia, Nora Corbett, that I showed in my last video where I was having some issue with the pieces of fabric. I haven't unpicked it. I haven't changed my mind on it just yet. I have, however, ordered another piece of fabric from Pole Stitches. I saw someone in one of the Mirabilia Nora Corbett Facebook pages that I'm in post about their whip, and it had that material, and I thought that could actually be quite beautiful. I'm not sure exactly what colors and how it's going to appear, so I have ordered a piece that'll take a while to get here, so I've put that one in the to look at again in future pile. Once I get the Pole Stitches fabric, then I'll make a decision. I'm wondering if maybe some people suggested that I newt down the yellow and pink fabric and maybe just put a slight dab of bleach or something on it in a few places, or maybe even try sun fading it. I don't want to ruin that fabric because it is such beautiful fabric and I do love it. I don't know what I would stitch on it at the moment, but I do think that if I don't use that one for the Nora Corbett exactly how it looks, that I don't want to ruin it. I want to be able to use it again in future for something else. So I will leave it, but we'll see. But yeah, so that one's in there, not the sin bin, but it's in the too hard bin. I'm just going to focus on these 7 for now and enjoy May, enjoy working on them, hopefully get some good progress in where and when I can. And yeah, in 2 weeks' time, I'll show you where I started, the progress that I've made over 2 stitch weeks, and then, we'll see how much progress I'm making. And then lastly, the giveaway winner from my 1K YouTube subscriber giveaway. As I said earlier, I'm giving away the coffee drinker confession chart from Heartstring Samplery. Got there. I'm getting them all blended in my brain. That is a giveaway that I was doing via an email PDF. I'm not going to post it or anything. As you can see, I've already started it, so I'm loving it, but I will purchase another copy. I did run it through the random YouTube comment generator, and Joe from Belushi Stitches, you were the winner. I have commented on your comment, and I can see that while I'm filming this, you have also replied to it, so you've been made aware. So congratulations. I will DM you to sort out how to send that one along to you via your email, so that you've got another chart. Also, I think I've mentioned her before, but if I haven't, do check out Joe from Belushi Stitches. Joe and Emma at Emma X Stitching, and I'll pop the correct spelling on the screen and down below. They are both the Stitch Along Queens. Joe, I think noted out one of Gecko Rouge's Alice full coverages in like 60 days. Like, that's crazy. I think it was 60, maybe it was 90. It was some division of 3. They are currently doing the Hello Pumpkin stitch along that they've called Hello Pumpkin, What Time Do You Cal This? They are doing it now. That was released in 2019, but they're doing it again now. They weren't part of it in 2019, but they have gone through the Facebook group and they have found the parts and how they were released. So they are doing 1 part per month. And then on top of that, they're also going to start doing one of the Christmas caterpillar hanging designs, so that that's ready to go by Christmas as well. And again, they're going to be doing those in the parts. So good on both of them for taking part in and holding those stitch alongs. That's an awesome way to do it. I've not seen anyone else do the stitch alongs in that way. But yeah, that's awesome. So if you haven't already checked either of them out and their Flosstubes or Instagrams, do. They're awesome. Their videos and their work is just beautiful. I think Emma's also doing the, she would have to be the queen of the stitch along. I think she's doing the sunflower stitch along with Stitchman Darcy. I actually think Joe's also stitching it as well, but they're doing the Heaven and Earth design, Sunflower Cottage. So check both of them out. And lastly, I just wanted to give one more shout out to Kirsten from 23 Flavors of Stitching. She is a floss tuber. I've watched her videos over the last few months. More particularly, she commented that she's thinking about doing the Hello Pumpkin Quaker. I got there. So go and check her out. I'll link her down below, and I've popped her name on the screen too. She's got a Flosstube channel as well as she's on Instagram, so be sure to go and check her out. Otherwise, that's enough for me. I've got soup on the stove that I've got to go check on, and then I've got a date with Grey's Anatomy and my Dark Queen of the Sea. Speaking of Grey's Anatomy, am I the only one that cries in nearly every single episode? Please tell me I'm not the only one. But yeah, anyway, on that note, I'm going to go and park my bum on the couch with little miss. Say goodbye. Can you say goodbye? You said, I turned 3 the other day. You're 3. No, hates it. Bye everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Happy stitching.